India batted first. Rohit Sharma got out early, but then again, Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli, they're in amazing form. They love batting together these days. Shikhar Dhawan scored a century in his 100th game. And then when rain came down, the Indians sort of lost their fluency. They were probably looking to get a little over 300, but they got around 290. Even Kohli said at the end of the game that when they came back on the field to bat, the pitch livened up a little bit, which made it hard for them. But when the South Africans came out to bat, I guess because of the way they had been going, the Indians were favourites, but rain came once again, the lightning came once again. It really turned into a T20 game, 202 needed of 28 overs, and in the end it was Miller and the youngster Klaasen who did the job, and then Fulukwayo finished it off very quickly and very nicely.
Well, Ali, I'll say that technically, if you look at that, what I'll say that when you calculate the revised score, it is always the team which is batting they suffer, because the target is gradually increased according to the conditions. And then if you look at them, they were supposed to get 250 overs. After the break, when the target was revised, it became 28 overs and 222 runs, 24 runs. And that was pretty difficult. I mean, if you calculate in that, it should be about, say, 8 per over, a little over 8 per over. That was a tough target. But the way they planned South African batting and the way they came on to the bowling of India, although Indians were the favourite to win, as you rightly said so, but they played an extremely good cricket, and that was a mixture of T20 and ODI. And the way they batted, I mean, they were the one who came and settled and look at the ball. When they were pretty sure about that now they can hit, they took their chances. And I think it was about 2 or 3 overs left when they completed the score.
Well, they certainly deserved to win, did the South Africans, because they took their chances, they gambled, they attacked the spinners, and towards the end they bowled very well after the rain break, so they certainly deserved to win. But I do think it's safe to say that the rain helped them out a lot, and it's about time, because I can't remember the last time rain helped a South African cricket team. But the pitch certainly changed, so India weren't able to get 300. I do think India need to think about maybe inducting some power hitters in there. I'm not sure where KR Jadhav is. Maybe they're not playing him. I don't know.
No,
but they do have some very enterprising attacking batsmen that I've seen that maybe could come in to the one-day side. But it wasn't easy. And then when they were bowling, of course, it wasn't easy for the spinners to grip the ball. And Miller was out of a no ball, remember that. So I guess it was a little bit easier for the South Africans with the wet ball and when the target was revised.
Well, it's always like this. I mean, when you are playing after the rain, I mean, you got to have towel on your back, that of course was there. But certainly the grip on the ball that loosens, sometimes the ball slips, and that gives an added advantage to the batting side. I mean, you cannot turn, you cannot do the wrong one so quickly as it should be. But I think South African, they visualized all that and they settled the batting order accordingly. But Indians, of course, I'll say that the Indians spinners, they are pretty good. I mean, they should have bowled a little better on that. Or on the other hand, they should have continued with a fast bowler with variation in the length and variation in the type of the delivery as well. But I think in South African, they overcome, and they overcome very well, and they not only overcome, but they ensure that they have a safe passage for the next match.
And let's not forget, India do have some of the best death bowlers in the world currently. Jasprit Bumrah and even Bhuvneshwar Kumar is very handy at the death. But when the South Africans were batting, Markram and Amla didn't get many runs. When AB de Villiers was out there, he was looking deadly dangerous. He had 2 big sixes, and then against the run of play, out of nowhere, Hardik Pandya got his wicket. At that point, Virat Kohli and his boys probably thought that yes, they've got this match. But then what changed it? Miller and Klaasen. Miller was saved because Chahal overstepped, and we all know how dangerous the left-hander David Miller can be. But it was Klaasen that was a very pleasant surprise. He played a wonderful knock, and he deserved to be the man of the match.
I mean, he is one of those batsmen who can hit the fast bowlers off the length. I mean, even indifferent sort of thing, he can hit it over the head of the ball. That's no problem for him. But he's a real one-day cricketer, real T20 cricketer. Miller, I mean, you look at his history now. I mean, this is so many times he's been the man of the match, and he is a big hitter. Not only he hits with the power, but also with a technical approach as well. I mean, his timings are so good that it's not difficult for him to pierce the field at any direction of the.
I mean, he comes in at a difficult time, does David Miller. Which is why many might argue that he's not living up to his potential or he's underperformed. But in difficult situations, I've seen him get South Africa out of trouble. Even in the IPL, I remember when he played for, I think it was Kings 11 Punjab. I could be wrong.
That's right.
Yeah, he scored lots of runs for them in difficult situations. And what makes Miller special is that he keeps it very simple. So his dad told him, he's like, if it's in the V, hit it in the tree. If it's in your arc, hit it out of the park. Yeah. So that's his philosophy. So because when you keep things simple, more often than not, you're successful.
Well, he is certainly. I mean, if you look at the requirement of the batting in the T20, it is few balls. I mean, 1 or 2, 3 balls, or even a maximum 1 over that can make all the difference. I mean, if he can command that 1 over or few balls, it can change the complex of the game, and rightly he did so against India in the last ODI.
Now, the youngster Klaasen, the young wicket keeper, he's in there for Quinton de Kock, who's out of the series. I thought he played brilliantly. Not only was he innovative, he showed a lot of guts and a lot of temperament. Yeah. I mean, he played one shot, I think, of one of the spinners. I think it was Chahal, where he ran across outside the off stump, and Dhoni followed him from behind, and he flicked it over short, fine leg.
Absolutely.
So I mean, this is what you usually get from the wicket keepers nowadays. And I thought it was a very classy knock. Not only was he unorthodox, but he also played some classical shots, like one inside-out extra cover drive for 4. So good on him in a difficult situation. Youngster came good.
Well, I'll certainly describe the shot you just mentioned now, coming onto the office stump, playing on the onside. I mean, it was a beautiful camera work by those who were covering the match. The moment that fellow played that shot coming on the 7th or 8th stump on the offside and hit it on the onside or mid-wicket, the camera went on the face of Virat Kohli, and you could straight away read it that he is really astonished, but he liked it. So what does it indicate? I mean, the great cricketer, the great batsman like Virat Kohli appreciating his shot, which was impossible for playing. I mean, the whole fielding was packed on the offside. He went all the way on the bowlers. Read him that he's going on the offside. He bowled outside the office stump from where he came, and he got the 4 runs.
It's just so funny how things have changed. This game of cricket, because I remember, I mean, I should be used to it by now because we've seen dill scoops and switch hits and laps and all sorts of things. But I remember playing in the garden with my friends, my little garden at home, and we used to imagine playing funny shots like that. And imagine if, like, this was executed in a game, we'd laugh. But now these things are actually happening. Even more outrageous than our imaginations were. So I guess this is very good for cricket.
Well, if you look at the current cricket and look at the Test cricket, I mean, say about a decade back, there's a lot of change in all respect. You could straight away see that you rightly mentioned that you're playing in the garden. If the kids play in the garden cricket, I mean, they sometimes throw the bat away. I mean, while hitting, and sometimes they hit the bat on their head as well. That all sort of thing they do it, and exactly the batting lineup now doing the same thing. I mean, just ensuring that the ball flies over the head of the batsman, over the head of the keeper, and goes onto the borderline. That's a very risky shot, but they are doing it, and they are doing so perfectly. Same goes to the bowling also. Bowling a slower bouncer, just tapping it there, batsman is pretty ready to play it, but it sails over the head of the batsman. That's all something new that's happening now.
And then towards the end, Miller got out and Pulukweo came in. The left-hander. Many thought that it wouldn't be him coming in, but it was him. Maybe they thought Morris would come in next. And, well, that guy can hit the ball. He's got some ability with the bat. He finished it off very quickly. What was it, 23 or 5 balls, something like that?
That's right.
So, yeah, it's good to see that the youngsters took South Africa home.
Well, I think South Africa, they planned well, they played well, and they were determined to win this match. They did so, and did so very well.
Right. Colonel Nishad, we're about to wrap up, but before we do, there's still 2 games to go. India have won 3. South Africa got off the mark in the fourth game. Do you think the South Africans can level the series, or will the Indians win this one?
Well, I think it is a 50-50 chance of South Africa level. If they level and they level the sea, that will be their victory.
Right. We're going to leave it at that. Colonel Nishad, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you,
It was
Ali.
a pleasure. We'll be back after a short break. When we come back,